I want to start my speech in 1, 2, 3. First of all, Judge, I wanted to point out 4 of my refuted results of the video. My first point is they assume that criminals are extremely regretful. This is incorrect. Why? Because if we look back at the history of mankind, we can see that criminals is not just people who commit something illegal or wrong because they have to. No. History also tells us criminals can also be people with mental health issue or psychic that makes them feel happy or relief when they're doing something wrong or illegal and dangerously. Next is also the people who did something because not they want to, because they have to. Like someone who face extreme poverty and have the thought to steal something from the grocery store to survive. My next point is the opposition argued that criminals and victims can no longer feel the emotional burden of the committed crime by the propriety. Post-crime memory removal, this is incorrect. Why? Because this system or this policy actually hurts, in other words, broke the human right itself, though not everyone didn't like to remember bad things happened to them, but their right to remember are tied with the human right itself. And the restriction to access memory itself also hurts the human right. What if the criminal have been free and clean, have married and have children, and they want to teach their children to avoid the same mistake they do? My next point is the opposition assume that the everyday worker that complain about corrupt government have to undergo the memory removal. This is incorrect. Why? What if the government actually neglected the working class and, in other words, they are actually corrupt? Wouldn't that be erasing evidence and even crucial evidence of government negligence to the society? My next point is the opposition argue that the criminals that have been undergo these attacks are not having the tendency to do it again. This is incorrect. Why? Because if the criminal faces something incredibly difficult after they free from jail or after they undergo the procedure or the attack, the thought of doing something illegal, dangerous, or bad can still coming back. Why? For an example, if the criminal faces extreme poverty because of the government negligence, they can form the thought to steal, not because they want to, but because they have to in order to survive. Moving on to my argumentation, the first one is, does the technology are morally acceptable and does it break the human rights? No, it is not morally acceptable. Why? Because it forces the criminal to erase their memory that potentially could make them regret what they do to other people. Morally, it does break the human right. How? By erasing people's memory of the crime without their consent. And moreover, it can erase the memory of people who had a revolutionary idea of how to prevent the crime because they already felt it and didn't want everyone in the society to felt it. Or as simple as a worker when their government is clean, so he became one with revolutionary idea. Moving on to my second argument, does the memory, in other words, bad memory from the victim actually helps the society? Yes. Nowadays, people who have been harmed and have a harm or felt that they have been harmed by the criminals have a motivational thought to enough. Don't let other people felt what I felt and potentially make a community or a team to prevent what the potentially horrible crime committed, and actually makes people that want to do something not right, dangerous, or illegal think about it twice before they do it, and therefore making people actually reasonable. For example, someone wants to steal in a grocery store and they think about it, about the risk, about the jail, about their future. And then they just ask for help from other people to help them and avoid all this risk. That's all from me. Thanks.